So they started the game already, and we can see the moves on the screen. Knight f3, b5. That's the move on Nigel Short, and the move is that all openings have a name in chess, and it's, as far as I remember, it's the name of this opening. It's Polish game. Polish game. Knight f3, b5, so played Boris Spassky, the hero of Nigel Short, against Grand Petrosian in the match, in the very first match, when he badly needed the win, the one of the last games, and he lost after b5, I remember, but not because of the opening. Knight f3, b5, e4, a6. Again, it's this kind of openings played also Tony Miles, who died about 10 years ago, and that's now it's Nigel Short who playing. It's the worse version of the Witilka opening. However, this opening, this position were played by Tony Miles with black, or just about this position, against Anatoly Karpov in, as far as I remember, in Skara in the European Teams Championship. And surprisingly enough, black Tony Miles won this game with this bizarre opening. And I remember when I asked his teammate Jonathan Spillman, did Tony Miles ask permission of the captain to play such a risky opening? He said, you know, Tony Miles never asked no one to permission for anything. Okay, c5, rook e1, queen c7, a4, c4, d5, e5. Now it's transportation of this position. First it was transportation in Spanish, in Ruy Lopez, and now it's a kind of French defense. So that's combination of all openings. It's clear that Nigel Short likes to just to play and without looking at opening variations, whatever. Knight e4. Again, what he won the time. He won almost 1 minute, and Kasparov didn't play bishop takes e4. He played knight b d2. Knight b d2. Exchange on d2, and white has here, well, some advantage, of course, because of bishop on b7 has not so many perspective. H6, and now white must try to create something on the king side. Knight h4, queen, knight h4, then put the queen on g4, or something like that. And I'm sure that Garry Kasparov is thinking about that. No, he tries to close, first of all, the queen's side, b4. Now what to do? To take en passant, however, Nigel did it. C takes b3, bishop takes b3, and knight d7. Took on b5, takes on b5. Well, it's more or less normal position. It's maybe it's slightly better for white, but not especially. So that's and again he has more time, Nigel Short. So queen e2, a very solid play by Garry Kasparov. Queen e2, pawn on b5 is hanging. You see, pawn on b5 is hanging, and he tries also to put his a line under control. He likes to take on e1 and then put another rook on a1. Rook a b8. The idea is to protect this pawn, not directly, because on queen takes b5, black plays bishop c6 and pawn on and b3 is hanging, and white cannot play this way. Rook f b1, bishop c6, bishop c2, knight b6, knight e1. Very solid play by Garry Kasparov. Knight e1. Well, if you look at this game and in the game of previous game opening or Evans gambit, well, you get a feeling that there are just different players are playing this match. Knight c4, bishop c1. Very solid play by both. Well, I think that black is very reasonable position. However, that's only one thing. The black's king on e8 here is in the center. And to stay always in the center with king is not advisable. And if king castling on this side, then is the battery bishop on c2 and queen d3 can be very annoying for black. So this way, knight d3, and what to do now? If again castling is very risky business because of knight f4 and queen d3, and black just has no pieces on the king side. So Nigel playing king d7. Sometimes we can see this move, and I think that's the right solution because that's the best place for the king. Queen g4, queen f3, and the kind of McCutcheon variation, and it is clear that white is better here, but how much better? Knight b4, and again, what to do? And knight takes c6 is threatening? I don't think so. Knight a6 is threatening for sure. So Nigel plays rook a8. It's against the threat knight a6, and now he is also not only short, but also short on time. Well, a little bit silly joke, I have to admit, but it's the fact that after rook e8, he has only 1.5 minutes against more than 2 minutes of Garry Kasparov. G3, prophylactic moves, h4, h5. Now is the question is how to make advantage of this position for white, because we see that rook on h7 is very passive, and rook of white is coming on a1 or sometimes on a7. Sometimes bishop takes c4 is threatening white is clear better in this position. Knight d2, that's what I didn't see, and it's I take all my words back. He blundered exchange like Nigel in the second game. I mean Garry Kasparov, and now with exchange down, he's fighting for a draw, because well, it's not so easy. It's the close position, and who can make here queen f6. Well, however, his position was so strong that now it's some threats on e6, on g6, but now it's still protecting everything. King h7. The idea of black to put his rook on g8 and to play rook a8 or whatever, and to play with the rook. What about time? 1:06 for Nigel Short and 1:20 20 for Garry Kasparov. King g2. He is waiting. He is waiting because on rook g2, knight takes e6 is possible. I don't know. I don't see that. Why is it possible? I don't see it. Why is it possible? No, it's not possible because of knight takes e6. I just take on e6 and everything is protected. However, if I'm playing next move rook somewhere, then it will be possible. Bishop e2. Bishop e2. I cannot play rook a8 because of knight takes e6 and queen takes g6, and No, bishop on e2. I'm a little bit tired. Bishop a8. Bishop a8. Now Kasparov likes to take on h5. Bishop d3. He is waiting. Now he is creating this threat. Knight takes e6. Bishop e8. Everything is protected, and I don't know what to do with white. f4, f5. Well, it's play for not for win. Well, I have a feeling that Kasparov became tired in the last games, and now it's a hard task to fight for a draw. Rook h3 is threatening, rook takes rook h3 is threatening, and pawn on c3 is hanging. Queen f3. Now it's pawn h5 is hanging. King g8, and what next? Kasparov has only 15 seconds and 49 of short. Rook h3. b4 is threatening. b4 is threatening, and white is losing actually. Bishop b3. Queen a5. Well, look at the bishop on e8. He protects not only square f7, he protects also very important pawn on g6, queen f6. Now queen e7 is a threat. Black cannot take on c3 because of queen e7 and queen f4. Now it's black's move to make a plan. Queen e7, that's right. Queen c, rook e8, queen c2. Well, the strategy of white is clear. He is waiting, and he tries to threats, and he tried to, well, the same position without c and b pawns. Now, of course, black is exchange up, and it must be a winning position. It must be winning position. Yes. Now it's very hard for Kasparov to defend this position because, well, rook takes c5 is threatening, and queen's endgame is winning. King h2. What to do now? Queen f5, I don't know. Rook c8, queen e7, queen f5, and if knight e8 check, I take on e8, on g5, on e5, and black is winning. It's clear, and I am afraid the game is over. That I don't see any defense, and it means, ladies and gentlemen, that in the seventh game of the match, Nigel Short beat Garry Kasparov, and